News.
With a string of recent arrests by federal authorities in connection to a drug pipeline running from Detroit into our state, some officials are saying this is nothing new for tribal nations.
Nakaya Carrero tells us what's been going on and what one tribal nation plans on doing as we lead local in tonight's top story.
Since January, the North Dakota U.S. Attorney's Office, in partnership with the BIA, DEA, and several tribal nations, have made almost 60 arrests, with the majority of the defendants being from the Detroit area.
You know, in combination, these organizations that we've indicted, especially recently, are together responsible for a very, very significant percentage of all of the opioids coming into the state of North Dakota.
Former North Dakota U.S. Attorney Drew Wrigley says through their investigation, they found that the dealers originally began distributing on the Fort Berthold Indian Reservation because of the amount of money surrounding the energy industry, making the state a prime market for illegal drug trade.
And there's just too many people with addiction problems that we got to continue to work on that as well. That's issue number one. You know, when you look at this, you have to try to dry up the demand, I guess is one way to put it.
Through the investigation, pills that would typically run between $10 and $15 somewhere else, dealers could charge up to $100 here in North Dakota. But the chief of the MHA Drug Enforcement Agency says as many arrests as they make, someone else is always ready to take their spot.
It's lucrative for them to keep coming in, so we take some out of the equation, but then there's others that fall back in place, and it's just a continuing process of indicting them, taking them out.
And while many think this is something new, the MHA Drug Enforcement Agency says they have been in the area since 2015.
We've been dealing with the Detroit connection from the very start, and even earlier than that they were here. But as a drug enforcement organization, that's when we started combating that.
And while they say the battle continues, the tribal nation says they will continue to provide options for those fighting addiction.
That's one of the options, is to treat them, get them sober, and then try to find gainful employment and try to find other things, work on their wellness. Wellness for us here means physical, mental, spiritual.
Reporting for KX News in Fort Berthold, I'm Nakaya Carrero.
Officials say originally they were seeing a lot of pharmaceutical drugs being sold, but in the past year, they say fentanyl has become the primary drug.
A fugitive